everyone, and welcome to my impressions video of Bayonetta Origins, Cereza and the Lost Demon, developed by Platinum Games and published by Nintendo for the Nintendo Switch. Now, I have to warn you, if you expect me to talk about how this game is just like the other entries in the Bayonetta series, you could not be more wrong. This game is literally a totally different genre, totally different art style, totally different music style, and narrative presentation, and it's both really neat and utterly baffling. And honestly, if it weren't for the oddball controls, I might really like it. But Platinum Games was going for something different in terms of mechanics here, and I don't know what they were thinking. But let's put a pin in that and talk about all the good things this small, plucky adventure game has to offer. By the way, if you find this video entertaining and informative, please like, subscribe, and click that little bell, and I'll keep bringing you all the video game goodness. Thank you. So Bayonetta Origins is all about Bayonetta's origins. The story begins with 10-year-old Cereza attempting to break her mother out of jail. Why is her mother in prison? Well, a decade prior, an Umbra witch and a Lumen sage fell in love and had a child, Cereza. But as it turns out, that is not allowed, and thus the mother was taken to horny jail and the father was banished to parts unknown, where he would later emerge as WWE's very own Goldust. At any rate, Cereza fails to save her mother, but is taken in by an exiled witch named Morgana, who offers to teach her the witchy ways of Umbra witches so that Cereza can learn powerful magic and finally free her mother. However, 10-year-old Cereza hasn't quite mastered the dark arts. So far, she can only do a little dance to grow plants and create vines that bind things, or summon demons, which she can't really control. Her clumsy spellcasting causes her to be a bit insecure, and for a split second, she doubts herself. But then, Cereza has a vivid dream telling her to go to Avalon Forest and speak with a white wolf, who will teach her what she needs to know. Setting off with nothing more than her stuffed toy cat named Cheshire, a gift from her mother, Cereza makes her way into the forest. But before long, she is surrounded by enemies. Completely panicked, Cereza attempts to summon a demon, but she's terrible at it, and the demon's soul ends up getting stuck in her cat plushie, which is hilarious. It wants to go back to Inferno, where it came from, but Cereza doesn't know how to do that. She tells the demon that if it stays with her, they can go together to find the White Wolf, who will teach Cereza powerful magic, and that should allow her to send the demon back from whence it came. The demon reluctantly agrees to this plan, and thus Cereza and Demon Cheshire continue on, navigating the forest twisty paths, working together to destroy enemies, and get past all sorts of environmental obstacles standing in their way. And that's pretty much the story so far. Now let me just say that I love the aesthetic in this game. It completely bucked my expectations, and I really like that. There's a storybook quality to Bayonetta Origins that is so charming. The visuals are presented like an actual storybook with turning pages and everything, and each page features lovely pastel watercolors that remind me of other artsy games like Okami. It's simple and very sweet looking. I also love the fairy tale-esque music, and the voice acting, to no one's surprise, is top-notch all the way around. If nothing else, this game wins points for being surprisingly cute. Not something I expected from a Bayonetta game. The downside, however, is that the narrative starts off very slow. It's more like an interactive novel than anything else, and so most of my hour-long time with Bayonetta Origins was me reading and watching things, not actually playing, which isn't bad per se, but not really what I wanted to do. And when I was finally given control, well, this is where the game starts to lose me a little bit. Cereza, can only do a couple of things. One is to grow plants that can connect platforms together, and the other is to bind enemies so they can't attack her. And despite the input for both actions being rather simple, neither feels very intuitive. The dancing mechanic especially feels off. All you have to do is hold down a shoulder button and then twirl the left analog stick in order to get Cereza to dance, but I had a hard time getting any kind of response. Luckily, you can have Cereza automatically cast a spell without having to do much of anything, but that really shouldn't even be an option. I feel like there was a better way to do this. Finding enemies is a lot simpler. By simply pressing a shoulder button, Cereza can stop foes from attacking, but it's not terribly interesting. But to be fair, it's not much of a problem either. What's baffling to me is the way in which you must simultaneously control Cereza and Cheshire in battle. You literally control one with the left analog stick, one with the right, and you have to hold down different shoulder buttons to get either character to act while pushing the analog sticks around in different directions. I cannot tell you how many times I got confused attempting to coordinate Cereza and Cheshire's actions. It scrambled my brain. Now sometimes I would fall into a rhythm and it would actually be really kind of fun. And I want to be clear on that, it can be fun. But most of the time my poor brain was just very confused. I'm not sure why Platinum Games thought this was a terrific idea. Maybe they were hoping to go for something different or unique. And in a way it is. But yeah, this is not my favorite thing. By the way, I do see promise in the crafting system, which lets you do things like make healing potions, and apparently there's a skill tree where you can access more actions that will help you later on down the line, but I can't really speak to that. And I think that's why I might pass on this game, despite seeing some strong reviews out there. As much as I like the adorable aesthetic and strong voice acting, I need a game to feel good while playing it, and Bayonetta Origins doesn't always feel very good. It's not broken, it's just clumsily presented? I don't know. I wish the demo was longer so I had more time with the controls, but it's only about an hour long, and most of that time is spent as an audience member, not as a participant, which is kinda too bad. What did you think of the demo? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching, guys. See you later.
Long ago, there existed two clans, the Lumen Sages of Light and the Umbra Witches of Darkness. Together they controlled a mysterious power. The clans put in place strict laws to ensure that strife would never consume them. But a pair of star-crossed lovers broke this rule, and a child was born with the blood of both sage and witch. It was a beautiful baby girl. As punishment for their forbidden love, the pair were torn asunder. The girl's sage father was exiled to a far land, and her mother locked away in a solitary jail. The witch clan took in the young girl, but she grew up shunned as a pariah, cursed by the circumstance of her birth. Her one comfort was the nights she snuck into the village jail to visit her mother's cell. Her mother passed each grueling day barely able to so much as move in her cold cell. But when her daughter came to visit, the witch always showed her a loving smile. But even this small happiness eventually came to an end. On the night of the girl's 10th birthday, her mother was to be moved to a deeper cell, where even the faintest memory of daylight could not reach her. In desperation, the girl tried a daring rescue, but with only a child's strength, the attempt was in vain. More alone than ever before, the young girl clung to all she had left, a stuffed cat named Cheshire, which her mother had made for her long ago. Many moons have since passed. Turning her back on the village, the girl was taken in by an exiled witch who lived on the outskirts of town. Under her strict guidance, the girl continued to train in the ways of the dark arts. She was determined to be a powerful witch and one day save her mother. Her name was Cereza.